Namaste, friends. My name is Amit Garg. Welcome to my channel, Vedic Astro Amit. We're talking about Mercury in Magha. Before that, a big thank you to all the paid members of our YouTube channel. Really appreciate your support. Mercury in Magha, I always say you want to understand, if you want to understand the energy of a planet, see which nakshatra it is placed in. That tells you the deeper meaning, the essence of that planet, what that planet is doing, much better than planet in the sign alone. You want to see the nakshatra as well. So as always, to analyze something like this, first we want to discuss the planet, what the planet represents, and then the qualities of nakshatra, and then we combine those. This is going to be a very interesting, actually a complicated transit, because midway through this transit of Mercury in Magha, Mercury will actually go retrograde. So from August 5th, August 5th through August 29th, Mercury is going to be retrograde. I'll create a separate video for that. But a portion of that, this transit, Mercury will be retrograde. So, retrograde is all about going to the past. And so this applies really well. So when Mercury goes retrograde in Magha Nakshatra, this is absolutely fantastic opportunity to honor the ancestors, learn from the ancestors. So we'll talk about that in a separate video. So let's begin. And I'm also actually teaching course on nakshatras, and that you can see on my website. So we discover it's a very practical, hands-on course where each nakshatra we discuss symbology, mythology, deity, Shakti, all of that, and then we apply that on the chart. So it's not just theory; it's almost 100% practical application of nakshatra. So check out that course. So let's begin. So Mercury in Magha Nakshatra. So what's happening here? First of all, Mercury. Mercury is the prince, the son of the king, right? Mercury is communication. Mercury is buddhi, intellect, and Mercury is the playful planet, sense of humor, all of that. And then Magha Nakshatra is all about heritage and traditions. It's actually very closely related to the ancestors. And the symbol of Magha is the throne of a king. So it's a very royal nakshatra. And whenever I teach or talk about Magha, I always give the example of Yogananda. Okay, so Yogananda had very strong placement. So in his chart, he had Lagna and Moon both in Magha Nakshatra. He was the epitome, he was the perfect example of Magha. Two main things. One is you'll be carrying lineage, you'll be carrying forward lineage of some past gurus from this life or from past lives. So essentially, you're bringing the old traditions forward to the modern day and time or to a different place. So Yogananda brought the yoga, the philosophy of yoga to the West, the Kriya Yoga, all of that. Main thing with this nakshatra is it's a very royal nakshatra. It's the leadership, power, and the king. As I said, the symbol is the throne of a king, right? So it's associated with royalty. And so how come this is associated with Yogananda? His presence on stage was that of a king. So whenever he went on stage to deliver a speech, he would talk like a king, this resounding voice, very powerful voice. And so that's the quality. It's like it's the ancestors and this royal nature of Magha. So what does Mercury in Magha mean now? Literally the prince is getting a taste of the royalty. Okay, so if you are a young person, then think of being a king yourself. Like you're getting this apprenticeship or internship in a, say, White House. So literally it's like that. So very powerful time for you to experience your heritage, your traditions. Second is because Magha is a royal authority, the king, and Mercury is communication. So this transit will give us, all of us, the power to have a very authoritative communication. So both speech and writing, all of that. This is the time to shine like a king, like a royal person. So our speech, our writing, our communication, our posts, everything will be more of the royal nature, like a big leader, a very mature, a leader from the past who's already been who's already famous and well established. So take your communication to the highest level, and then another theme is so there will be the kings and the politicians, so they'll be interested in intellectual pursuits. So meaning you will see a lot of intellectual discussions among the kings, you can say the politicians, and such. And on general public level, so if you are an authority figure or a leader of any kind, the leadership style will be more intellectual. So if let's say you're a CEO or even a manager, right? So this period, this more than a month period from July 19 through August 22, it's good to practice a leadership style that focuses on intellectual uh, power and being very communicative and using your buddhi, literally. That's Mercury. Uh, this period will also mean there'll be deep interest in exploring getting more knowledgeable about the traditions, about the heritage, about the history, or at least people will be talking about these things. That's Mercury, communication and talking. Magha is old tradition. So there could be like research, a lot of research in the, archaeology, excavation, uh, old architecture. So this is a perfect time to start some studies and programs in old architecture and old traditions. And then also, we'll see a lot of strategic thinking, and those ideas will be coming from the past. Those will be implemented for future projects and future strategies. And so, and the leaders, you will see a style that is more very, very charismatic and articulate and communicative. But there'll be very deep respect for the uh, traditions. Uh, and instead of ignoring the traditions, and you can extrapolate that, so maybe people will be more receptive to advice from their parents, from their grandparents. So essentially, so let's talk about the remedies. So one of the big remedies is to listen to your grandparents or older people at home or outside, because they represent the heritage, they represent the traditions. So biggest remedy is to honor the living tradition, the living heritage that we have, the ancestors, not the older people, the grandparents and such. Second is, of course, the worship of the ancestors, the people who have departed, and so that's Magha Nakshatra. So you can do Tarpan, which is the ritual for honoring the ancestors. You can do the Pitrudosh remedies. I have a separate video on Pitrudosh, which means the curse of the ancestors. So if there is a curse of the ancestors, so we can do remedies, and this will be a very powerful time to do those remedies again. And then you can chant Vishnu Sahasranam. That's very powerful for Mercury. You can give donations in the name of ancestors. So let's say your grandparents or whoever, somebody, whatever food they like to eat. So you can donate that exact food to poor people or homeless shelters or anybody, or even, your relatives or your friends. You can give donation, that kind of, you can offer them at your home if they visit. So any kind of food donation is best for ancestors and specific things that they loved to eat. And then also honor the traditions. Say if there are traditions in your family or something, honor those. This is a powerful time. Those traditions, do not ignore. They'll give you blessings. They'll give you success in life. Then this is a powerful time to do any kind of past life regression therapies, or just listening to the ancestors, lucid dreaming, getting the messages and blessings from the ancestors in your dreams or in your meditation. Very powerful time for that. And then you can chant lots of mantras for the ancestors. There are several mantras I've given on my website. You can look up those. Several mantras. First is for the Kula Devta. So Om Kula Devata Yai Namaha. And then for Kula Devi, so Om Kula Devyai Namaha. And then for the Pitri Devatas in general, Om Pitri Devatayai Namaha. And then you can chant the Pitru Gayatri mantra. Om Pitru Ganaya Vidmahe Jagadadharani Dhimahi Tanno Pitru Prachodayat. These mantras I'll put in the description section. And so this is a good time to honor our ancestors through these mantras, chanting of these mantras. You can write down or listen to those different versions on YouTube, but you can check out my website also under planetary remedies. All these mantras are given. And then this is also a powerful time to read about your history, your ancestors, your traditions, even the old ancient texts and traditions, the scriptures. Okay, so literally you can enroll in a esoteric subject such as ancient subjects such as astrology, Jyotish, or Ayurveda, or any of these, or energy healing, things like that. So those are some of the generic remedies for everybody. So now we'll discuss for each of the 12 rising signs additional things, what things you can be careful about, or additional remedies you can do for your rising sign. And again, yeah, consider joining the Nakshatra course I have on the website. And so now let's begin with the sign of Aries. So in this video, I won't show the chart because it's essentially we're just looking at the rulers, right? So which houses Mercury rules for each of the 12 signs, 12 rising signs. So first, Aries rising. Aries rising, Mercury is your third lord and Mercury is your sixth lord. So essentially the third lord and the sixth lord is going to be in the nakshatra of Magha. So a lot of traditional stuff going on with respect to third house and sixth house. So that means, first of all, the biggest thing is sixth house is our health. So if you're having any health issues, focus on using traditional, ancient methods of healing, Ayurveda, any of that energy healing. So those will be powerful for you for Aries rising. Third house is also our communication. So resort to old ways of communication, meaning very traditional touch to your networking, to your communication. Third house is also skills. So learn some old ancient skills. Perfect time for that. Mercury will really help you learn some traditional arts or skills, things like that. And then sixth house is also your job, 9 to 5 kind of job. So you can involve some old traditional ways of doing things at your work. Learn from the past. So that's essentially Magha is past, the traditions, the lineage. But anything from the past, you can utilize that in your work, in your profession. And then a third house is also our siblings, our younger siblings. So, talk about like your history, your ancestry with your younger siblings. That will be very therapeutic, very, very, very powerful. So that's for Aries rising. Next is Taurus rising. For Taurus rising, the Mercury is your second lord and the fifth lord. So essentially, second lord is speech. So talking about your ancestry, your ancient traditions, your forefathers. So all of that, speaking, talking, and also deal with the family wealth. So it's a good time to deal with the family wealth. Discuss, how you want to increase the family wealth, and especially with your family. So discuss how you can grow your family wealth. This is a good time for that. And you can visit some ancient sites, pilgrimage, especially with your children or with your romantic partner. So that's fifth house. So discussing your heritage lineage with your children, or visiting your ancient home, your old family home. That'll be really powerful, therapeutic for you for Taurus rising. And watch the intro section, the remedies, powerful remedies and mantras we gave in the intro section, the generic ones. Next is Gemini rising. And for Gemini, of course, Mercury is the third lord and the Lagna lord and the fourth lord. So Lagna lord, this is all about figuring out who you are, your ancestor, your lineage. So go especially the fourth house also. Fourth house is also where we came from. It's the house of the mother. And so both the first house and the fourth house ruler it's the same planet. Mercury is in Magha. It's all about discovering your roots, being true to your lineage, to your roots, to your traditions, to your heritage. So first discover your heritage, and then learn from it, and then adopt that lineage, that heritage. That'll serve you really well. And discuss that with your mother, especially if your mother is alive. Discuss your tradition, your ancient history with your mother, and then apply that. So this will lead to a lot of change, transformation in your personality. You'll discover that things you didn't know earlier, that didn't make sense, like who you are, basically about your family, about your mother, about your lineage. Those things will help you define, not so much as in um, help mold you who you are, your personality, your being, your self-identity. This is the period to rediscover your self-identity. And Mercury is going to be retrograde for a portion of this transit. So that even means, going back to the past. So this is a very powerful time to discover your heritage. And watch the intersection. We discuss many remedies, including several mantras specific for this transit. Don't miss that intersection. So for Cancer, right? Next is for Cancer rising. For Cancer rising, Mercury is your 12th lord and your third lord. So literally, 12th lord in Magha means going back to the ancestors. So do lots of past life regression, astral travel, hypnotherapy, and lucid dreaming. So 12th house is our dreams, 12th house is our ancestors, literally, our sleep and all of that. So Magha Nakshatra resonates very well with that. So really powerful time. And Cancer rising people, naturally, they are very emotional. And so this is all about your subconscious mind. So activate your subconscious minds. Directly, you'll get lots of messages from your ancestors. Watch the intersection for lots of other remedies. We discussed the generic remedies. But for Cancer, additionally, your 12th house is completely activated. Make use of that. Go on a retreat. Go on a retreat and think about, focus, meditate on your ancestors. That's the best remedy, powerful remedy. And then third house also, talk about your ancestry. That's communication, and discuss that in your with your friends, neighbors, or even with your very close friends and your younger siblings. So discuss your ancestry with these people. That'll give you good, positive success in life. Next is the rising sign of Leo, Leo Lagna. For Leo, Mercury is your 11th lord and your second lord. So basically for Leo, Mercury is the planet for money for you because it's ruling both the money houses. And so this is all about discussing or how you can enhance your family wealth through your lineage, through your ancestry, through your traditions, through your heritage. And so there'll be different ways of, so you can, first of all, be traditional in your approach towards money. Not saying too conservative, but traditional as in old ways of doing things. Lots and lots of this wealth of wisdom is there. How to make money, but using traditional old ways. Think, how that applies to you. And then also talk about traditions and heritage and your ancestry with your friends. That's the 11th house. And all those will bring you gains. And then the second house is also our speech. So literally talk about your ancestors, your ancestry, discuss that with other people through your speech. Watch the intersection for a lot of other remedies we discussed, generic remedies for all signs, and some mantras also that we discussed. And I'm also teaching a course on nakshatras, so consider joining that if you want to understand nakshatras in detail. Next is Virgo. For Virgo, Mercury is your Lagna Lord, Mercury is your 10th Lord. So it's all about figuring out how you can incorporate traditions, ancient culture, ancient ways of doing things into your profession. And secondly, this is the time to discover your lineage, your roots, because your Lagna Lord is in the Magha Nakshatra. So go on this quest for learning who you are and discuss things about your forefathers. So if you have your parents alive, your grandparents, so talk to them about your ancestry, and that'll help you discover who you are. Then 10th house, as I said, all about career. So in your profession, incorporate old ways, traditional ways of doing things, but act as a leader, as a very authoritative person. That's Magha Nakshatra. So this will give you success. And then also this transit will bring favors and good results from the authorities, from government officials, all of that because of the 10th house. And then watch the intersection for lots of other remedies we discussed, including lots of mantras. Next is the Libra sign of Libra, Libra rising. For Libra, Mercury is your 12th lord and Mercury is your 9th lord. So it's all about higher wisdom, 9th lord and 12th lord, and also pilgrimage. Literally travel to some old ancient sites, travel to old heritage sites, travel to your own ancestral homes, track your lineage, and then do lots of hypnotherapy and past life regression. That's the 12th house. It's completely activated. Try to talk to your ancestors. You'll get messages. You'll literally get blessings and guidance from your ancestors. And then also be a guru and teach. If you already know these things, if you've been practicing these things, this is the time to become a guru, a very traditional kind of a guru with some kind of a lineage. So spread the word. If you've been, if you have some skills, spread this ancient wisdom with others as being a guru, consultant, coach, guide, all that ninth house matters. And long distance travels. And this is all about higher wisdom. And watch the intersection because we discussed lots of remedies for the generic remedies for this transit. Next is Scorpio rising. For Scorpio, Mercury is your 11th lord and Mercury is your 8th lord. So finding the secrets of your ancestry, that's 8th house. And talking about it with people at large, that is 11th house. So communication about your ancestry and then finding the secrets, finding out who you are. This will help with a lot of change and transformation in your life. This will bring a lot of positive change. And you'll go to the root of the matter, literally the source, the origin of the universe, that is 8th house. So through this old traditional ways of doing things, or literally figuring out your ancestry, going back and learning some traditional old subjects, that is activating the 8th house, you'll discover all the answers. And in addition, watch the intersection. We discussed lots of remedies, generic remedies, and some mantras also. Next is Sagittarius rising. So for Sagittarius, Mercury is your 7th lord and Mercury is your 10th lord. So discuss ancestry with your partner and discuss ancestry at your workplace. Or this is also potentially a good transit where if you have those skills or been thinking, getting into a profession or work related to old ways, old traditions, ancestry, things like that. So, and doing that in a very royal fashion, in a very like a refined manner. But this transit may also bring you in contact with people from the past. Like literally, you may develop partnerships, both personal and business partnerships, because of your ancestry, or people may just surface from the past, from past lives, or from past this life also. That's all Magha Nakshatra, and that's the 7th house. The partners will show up from the past, and lots of opportunities to do communication with people from the past. And then watch the intersection. We discuss lots of remedies and lots of mantras also. So that's for Sagittarius rising. For Capricorn rising, Mercury is your 6th lord and Mercury is your 9th lord. So it's all about, first is I discussed in the intro section also, but specifically for Capricorn rising, this makes a lot of sense for you to use some alternative ways of healing, ancient ways of healing, that is 6th house. And then also you'll learn a lot of vidya, a lot of wisdom from the gurus, old traditional gurus. So sit with the gurus, go to the temples, go to ancient sites, pilgrimage, long distance travel for spiritual purposes is very powerful for Capricorn. And then also you can spread the word. You can become a guru. You yourself can carry some guru's lineage forward. That's what this transit is about, and you can see how that fits into your life. And then watch the intersection for lots of other generic remedies for all the 12 signs and lots of mantras also. And so that's for Capricorn. Next is Aquarius. For Aquarius, Mercury is your 5th lord and Mercury is your 8th lord. Going to the root of the matter, going to the past life, that's all 8th matter, and who you are, the origin of the universe, literally, that's on the card. So you can really figure out those secrets if you go back, do past life regression and astral travel, things like that. And then 5th house is your children. So discuss your ancestry with your children. And also your romantic partners, so that you can do these things with your romantic partner also. And you may discover some hidden wisdom through, like literally you may get inheritance. There's very powerful indications that you may get lots of money either from your spouse or, shared resources, or from your heritage, literally from your parents, grandparents who may have passed away. So focus on that. And then also communication with the ancestors is very powerful, very important. And then watch the intro section. Lots of remedies, the intro remedy section for generic remedies for everybody, and lots of mantras also there we discussed. So that's for Aquarius. Okay. For Pisces, Mercury is the ruler of two Kendra houses, the fourth house and the seventh house. So you and your partner may actually, this is a great time for you and your partner to look at your ancestries combined, or your separate ancestries. And then also this period may actually bring you in contact, or you may develop partnership with people from the past, from past lives or from this life in the past. So you can reinvigorate or bring those relationships back if you had somebody in the past, both personal and business partnerships. That's seventh house. And literally this will help you discover your inner happiness. That's the fourth house. And discuss these things with your mother if she's alive. Discuss these things in your home, literally the home environment where you live with your family. Those things will bring lots of blessings and powerful things for you, for the entire family. And then watch the intersection for generic remedies that we discussed, and lots of mantras also. So that's how you can analyze this transit. As I mentioned, first look at the planet, then the nakshatra, and then see how you can combine with all of the rising signs. And if you're interested, I have a course on nakshatras. That's 100% practical course. We discuss all the concepts of each nakshatra, then immediately apply those on several charts in detail, not just any superficial manner. So that's this transit. And in fact, this is actually going to be a very interesting, complicated transit, because Mercury goes retrograde also. So after August 22nd, it actually enters the sign of Ashlesha. Instead of going to the next nakshatra, it goes to the previous nakshatra, and then it'll come back to Magha in the month of September. So we'll discuss, because that'll be a different kind of energy. So we'll discuss that in a separate video. I wish everybody a wonderful blessings of all our ancestors. May we all get blessings of our ancestors during this transit of Mercury in Magha Nakshatra. Thanks for watching. Thanks a lot for your time, and namaste.